Wait,
What is up?
Now it's recording.
What is up, everybody? Dude Comedy Podcast. We know you missed us the last few episodes. We got lots of messages that you missed us the last few episodes. People don't know what to do at work. They don't know what to listen to. Apparently, me and Colby are the coolest motherfuckers on this planet. We got a couple very heartfelt messages.
And mean ones.
And some mean ones that we basically fucking suck. The problem is, ladies and gentlemen, and the problem is things change. People change. People go their separate ways. I'm not really sure where I'm taking that, but
I liked where you were going with it.
We've literally just been busy as fuck. Me operating my Beersy stuff, just hired my second employee today. I'm fucking up here while I should be down there training somebody for you guys. You gotta think about it that way. Colby, I don't think Colby's talked about what he's been doing.
I can bring it up.
He's doing some cool shit. And so it's kind of weird. So like TV shows will never play like when it's like Game of Thrones just ended, which we're going to talk about. But it's like lots of people take like mid-season breaks. We've never really had that. And to be completely transparent, like this show doesn't pay our bills, so it's like it's hard for us to like be in the middle of like very important shit that involves our livelihood and be like, all right, we got to take focus off this. But at the same time, like, we love you guys, and it's just, for me, it was
tough. A weird time.
I'm 100% like, when I'm onto something, it's like, all right, I'm just going to fucking do that. You know, when it was like YouTube, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do fucking YouTube. I ain't worried about other shit. All right, Facebook, fuck YouTube. I'm moving on to Facebook. That's my problem. That's what I'm trying to get better at. And me and Colby had a heart-to-heart discussion. We said, man, like, the people love this. Like, it's kind of hard for us to tell, you know, because we don't directly talk to you guys. I don't read any comments on YouTube, which is the only place people can respond. So that's our fucking bad. And
it's not like too that we set out to like do it on purpose or anything. We planned on recording an episode. Something came up. Then it was the next day, and we planned on recording it. And it was like, okay, well, we'll just do it tomorrow when the regular scheduled shows happen. Then something came up, and it was
something
just like
always comes up. And
it wasn't that we were trying not to do it. It snowballed to where it was a Thursday, and we said, hey, it was last Thursday. We said, hey, instead of just rushing out some show that's going to be a 30-minute, you know, with us just doing it to do it, like, let's take the time. Let's not go in full burnout mode, and let's just say Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, take that time,
a little break,
recover from whatever we were doing. Things got crazy, man. I mean, it was everything that lined up in Kyle's like trajectory with his product and project hit the same time with everything. Plus, on top of that, it's like when we started the show, we really did nothing. Like, yeah, we were just goof offs. We would go golf all the time. We
thought we were doing something. We thought we're like, oh yeah, we're busy. We could fit this. We were literally fucking sitting on our ass, twiddling our thumbs. We weren't really doing anything for the website, anything for Facebook. We were just sitting there, and we had that pity party episode that was like, man, like, this sucks and this and that. Well, it's because we weren't fucking doing anything. We weren't we weren't moving in a positive direction. We were just, dude, we played so much fucking Fortnite. It was insane.
And now we haven't even played since the season 8, and now it's a whole nother season 7. Now it's a whole nother season.
Yeah. So, yes, those are a lot of excuses, but it's the truth. It's hard. It's hard when you got a lot of shit going on to be like, okay, now just take your mind off that stuff. But that's what you guys follow us for. That's what we signed up for. Me and Colby took a little break, and I was actually excited to get on here this morning. And,
yeah, I got actually look at this, dude. I actually got stuff written down.
This motherfucker has stuff written down. I'm sure you said something before this, like something crazy. If it's true, are we ready for this?
Yeah, or do you want to talk about Game of Thrones? Okay, we'll go to the crazy.
So it doesn't have to do with Game of Thrones?
No, I was trying to pull up these stats I want to talk about for Game of Thrones, and when I was doing it on Twitter, I saw this dude. Hey, we'll tie it into Fortnite. So the biggest player, arguably, no, not even arguably, he's the top streamer now, and he's already qualified for the World Cup, is the dude named Tfue, right? You've heard of him.
Yeah.
He's always got his clips on World Star, huge. I think yesterday, this article I was reading said that he had 250,000 people watching him try to qualify for the World Cup. 250,000. That's a lot of people.
Like the World Cup of gaming?
Fortnite's doing a World Cup competition right
okay,
now.
okay.
Winner gets like $3 million, which is kind of cool. Anyway,
Jesus.
so the reason why this caught my attention, though, because it involves ya boy in this, which is why I said big if true. I'm just going to read right from the article here. Fortnite pro player and popular Twitch streamer Turner Tifu Tenny is suing Faze Clan organization over oppression of contract, arguing that they take 80% of his earnings.
What?
80%. Tifu filed against Faze Clan on May 20th for limiting his ability to pursue his profession in violation of California law. He tried to get out of his contract. They're only leaving him with 20% of the revenue from his branded videos and social media. Him and his lawyers say a bunch of things here. Yada, yada, yada. But here's where it gets crazy. I got to find this part. So the report reveals that Tifu attempted to terminate his agreement with Faze back in September. By the way, this guy's the highest Fortnite or second highest Fortnite earner of all time, like right now. He has $550,000 of like documented career Fortnite earnings, and he only got 20% of that. Well, it's only been like a paid thing for 2 years.
Yeah, I'm sure there's lots of other deals.
But he's the number one Twitch streamer, so everything Ninja made in Twitch, you got to think he's doing similar numbers.
Yeah.
His lawyer argues, so they wouldn't let him out of his deal. His lawyer argues not only is Faze taking a majority of his revenue, but they're also jeopardizing his health, safety, and welfare. They pressured him to live in a home with other young YouTubers where he was given alcohol before legally able to drink. He says that they also have shady business practices. They had minors lie about ages to sign contracts, as well as pressuring them to do illegal gambling, pressuring them to do dangerous stunts for videos, and they allegedly signed an 11-year-old player, pressured him and his family to lie about his age.
What?
Yada, yada, yada. Anyway, it's your boy Banks, dude. Everyone's on Twitter now being like, oh, yeah, this doesn't seem shit. Like, of course, I wonder how he's going to spin this.
Banks' own Faze?
Yeah, he's the dude. He's the dude behind all this, supposedly, on all these. And now Twitter's going ham.
First off, it's hard because why sign that type of contract if you're not going to fulfill it?
80. I feel like you got to be in a weird spot.
That is fucked up.
But you signed it. But it's like what we always say.
What are the terms to it? Like, how long are the terms?
See, that's what I don't know.
It's not like he just got into a lifetime contract.
Yeah, hold on 1 sec. 30 seconds, Kyle.
I don't know. But the Tifu dude he's definitely a different. That seems more intelligent than most of them, but you're going robot-y. You there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I hope we don't lose this. Hey.
Oh, there you are. There he is.
Oh, sweet. I just plugged my computer back in and it connected me to the wrong Wi-Fi, and I thought we might lose it.
How are we still connected? Oh, shit.
I have no idea. So I lost you when you said the 80-20.
Oh, I was just saying that it's like there's no way that was a lifetime deal. Like,
no, I agree with that. But what's crazy too, though, is I got to remember how, like, I understand 80-20 seems high, but I can't. I'm trying to be less of the hypocrite on things, because like when Richard Sherman and those dudes are always like, oh, I want more money. I always say, you signed the contract. This is what you're in for until it's over.
But at the time, like when he signed the contract, probably didn't seem that crazy. But now he's probably hit this like crazy out of this world, like most popular. He didn't see that part coming.
Yeah.
So basically, but Faze let him in as a professional gamer. Like he had probably nothing. Like I don't know his story, but he probably didn't have much before that. So he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna sign with Faze." He knew what the fucking percentages were, you know.
Yeah, I think this will
but
be.
Faze Banks is like I don't know much about the guy. I've seen just some of his like low points, and it seems like he like tries to stick to those low points. He just seems like a massive tool.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. One of the things I read was it made a really good point. It's kind of off like what you said. When he came in, he might not have been as popular, and using this platform that Faze had and Banks, whatever, to like propel him to what he is. Yeah, it definitely grew him on like a Twitch standpoint, this and that, whatever. But to argue that he is a better gamer, like in a one-on-one game of Fortnite, is like, that's a little stretch to be like FaZe Clan made him better. But as far as like,
that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah, so that's like the hard thing is like, as a personality, you cannot argue that they didn't give him a platform to succeed because they were the biggest organization. Yada yada yada. But to use the argument that they made him a better like professional gamer, I would struggle.
That's what they're saying.
That's what
that's like some FaZe Banks shit.
That's what, and that's what
like
they
so
said.
Fucking like he's the dude that caused this huge scene at a bar. It was all on footage, and he was obviously the one making the scene. But he was pissed because he actually shit all over this bar, and they got just destroyed. Obviously, somebody with millions of followers. This bar got destroyed. All the reviews and everything just tanked because he thought he should have got special VIP treatment, and he didn't.
Yeah, and remember when that thing all like happened too? That's when you got blocked because he had the picture of his hair.
Got me blocked. Yeah,
I forgot about that. He had the hair thing go on. Yeah, so that came up. I knew that you would like that because it's your boy Banks coming under fire. I'm gonna refresh those Twitter feeds and see.
So I just hired my second employee today. And so actually he's probably listening to this right now, but now he just met my sister today, and they're just hanging out in that room down below, like together. Yeah. And I was like walking when I came up here, I'm like, no kissing, guys. And it was just like no response from either of them.
How close do they sit to each other? Pretty close, right?
No, not really. But it's so River uses a Mac, and Mac doesn't have a Instagram app. So he has to use his phone. So now it's like, I have to sit there and watch. River, I have to sit there and watch you on your phone. I'm like, man, what if he's sending nudies to somebody right now? I have no clue.
He should just cast his phone to his Mac. It takes 13 seconds, and then you can look at his computer.
No, I don't really care.
Yeah, what a dork, though.
I'm saying I might actually get him a Surface.
Yeah, or he can just download the app that I have. It's called like Grammar or something like that. Grambler is what it's called.
Can you like message people?
Oh yeah, it's everything. I'll send you a thing. You can schedule posts that way too.
What?
Yeah, from Mac. Pretty tight. All right, let's get to the real thing. Everyone's tuning into this
Game of Thrones. Oh my god.
All right, so
I fucking hate people.
All right, I'm gonna set the stage of this and then let you go. Spoiler alert for everyone listening right now. If you haven't watched the final episode of
Alita seemed upset, so
yeah, we can talk about that. And we can talk about everything. This is the spoiler alert. If you haven't watched yesterday's episode and you're listening to us instead of that, that's your fault now because I gave you the warning.
Yep.
Kyle, take away overall opinion, and then I have some notes written down we can get to. Let's get into it.
I was satisfied.
Okay, Kyle's satisfied with the ending.
I was satisfied with the ending.
I also want to go on record. 3 weeks ago, I said Brandon Stark would be the guy at the end. And I said it because, and you remember why I said it? I said process of elimination. The only way it makes sense is for it to not make sense. And I went through every character and I said, it's going to be Brandon Stark. And when it happened, I put my hands up, and I have a group chat, a Game of Thrones group chat. And after last episode, I posted a picture of him from season 1. And I said, I just want you guys all to be ready. This is going to be the king. Like, get sad now. And I posted that, and I got to bump that back. And I'm like, look at me. I know what I'm talking about.
But it is unmaking sense as it is. Like, it's not like that crazy of a concept.
No, exactly. And so here's my thing. Satisfied. I knew that was what was going to happen. So that's not where I was upset. I have no problem with that being the king. But there are a couple things that rubbed me the wrong way. Not as much as people on the internet. Let me get that out there too. I'm definitely not the Reddit. I'm going to type 5 paragraphs on why the writers suck here. But there were a couple things that I wrote down that were interesting, like kind of like plot holes for me. Main one. So another spoiler here. When Jon kills Daenerys, great scene. You don't know who stabs who, right? I was like, oh shit. Oh, that's awesome. A thing for me I wish would have been better was some type of thing in between the dragon flying away and then Jon getting caught. Arya's already there. Do something with her. Have them run away or something. Like Jon just stand. Now here's the thing where it starts my I don't understand a little upset part.
Did he rat on himself?
That's the thing. So we don't have the answer. And here's the second one. Grey Worm, right? The worst character development. Again, not a writer. I'm not going full Reddit here saying I know more than anybody on HBO. But they need to tell, like, Grey Worm has no alliance to the kings and this and that. Like, his only thing that he was living and fighting for was Daenerys, right?
Yeah.
That's been proven. When Jon says, hey, put your swords down, he goes through the episode before and kills everybody. At the start of this episode, 14 minutes before this scene, he almost kills Jon on the spot just for stopping him from killing 5 people, right?
Because Daenerys said to kill them all.
So if Grey Worm, who is the leader of the army who catches the guy that killed his queen and somehow confesses to it, you're telling me that he's just going to lock him up and then call a meeting of truths?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
But then also it's like
that makes no sense.
I guess they showed it took a while for them because they both had like long beards and scraggly stuff. So it's like because it's not like Sansa takes her 15 minutes to get there, So
no,
it's a while. But that's why. Like, did he just rat on himself?
Or if he does, like, how is Jon Snow, who's been like the smart, calculated person this whole time?
Jon Snow is not smart.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like, how does he not just
loyal?
He could have been like, no, man, Dany and the dragon just flew off. They dipped out, covered up that blood.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. That's how are you gonna? They're like, that's what happened. But then he fucking rats. Like that's why. That's kind of what. So that's what I thought when we were discussing things. I'm like, so Daenerys is gonna die, but the only way that Daenerys dies is it's not gonna be in front of everybody. It might be like a secretive thing, and then like the dragons just. I had kind of read some fan theories like the dragon's gonna take Daenerys off, so I knew that. So I thought that. So I'm like, but then once I saw nobody, because she was protected and everything by everything, and then all of a sudden, like, there's nobody around when he kills her.
Yeah.
But
and then, But then the other thing too is like people are like, well, Arya should have done it. It's like, hey, you can't. So there's the thing. This is the thing about people is they let the theories and their hopes and everything in that 2-year layoff. They let all of that build up. I think it was a lose-lose situation. I don't think that there was a way. Okay, let's. The
problem is everybody's so used to other movies that it's like happy ever after, like everything's so good. But that's not the real fucking world, and that's why I was satisfied with what happened.
And it's a show about fantasy and magic.
Like would you have been satisfied if Jon was like, yeah, let's fall in love and we live happily ever after? Even if Daenerys didn't fucking torch the whole city, would you have been satisfied?
Been boring.
Jon and Daenerys, yeah. And people have been saying the same shit. Like, what a typical storybook ending. Like that's why I can't stand. There are fucking loopholes, just like there are not loopholes, but like there are fucking mishaps with everything.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%.
But the thing is, like, they just left it unexplained rather than trying to explain something that didn't make sense.
Yeah. So why Alita was mad is she didn't like how it just turned into like the Stark Fest at the end, where it was just like the 3 of them. It was a great shot, like everything was created right, but she's just like her thought was, why did we watch this like whole thing and then like Brandon Stark has his moment where he's like, all right, I'm out, like I'm gonna go find this dragon, and then they're like laughing and everything, cool, that happens, but like then they fade to like Arya floating away. It's like almost like they set it up like hey,
I mean, from the beginning it was all about the Starks, but I thought like they would show, like I was waiting for something like at least saying us where'd the dragon go. So the fan theory for the dragon and Daenerys, because they're filming a prequel.
Yeah.
So, or at least that's the rumor. So they're filming a prequel, and I thought from one of the fan theories I read that the dragon takes Daenerys off like way out into the land of the free folk, and that it like somehow turns, like maybe the last scene, like her eyes open and she's like the Night Queen.
That's sweet, dude.
But that wouldn't make sense for the actual Game of Thrones. I mean, it would, but it would set up for the prequel on how, like the Night King and the dead people came to be,
Yeah. No, and here's the other thing too. Kyle and I aren't experts. We don't read the books. We don't, we will read some things on the internet. I think like the people who were invested so much in the books and watched it had so much more like upsetness to them because they're like, oh, this didn't follow. Hey, this just did, motherfucker. The guy didn't finish the book. What do you mean? Like, this didn't follow the book. It's not and then like, so people shitting on the directors and the writers for doing it quicker because they're going to do Star Wars. Hey, the Night King episode.
Is that though? They did it 2 years. Is it fucking quicker?
Here's the thing. The Night King episode was still my favorite episode of the entire series. Magical. Awesome.
That was just all about straight battle when the King's Landing was more about like, how is this going to go down? Like, is she really just going to rampage through and like that, it's just like I think lots of people, basically lots of arcs were about, some arcs were with the Battle is Dead. Some arcs, I don't think there's a lot less arcs. It seems, like Daenerys' arc was at King's Landing, but
yeah.
But the thing is, like, it's not like you hate Daenerys. Like, that's the thing. Like, that's why I think these people are so good at doing what they fucking do. Because I didn't hate Daenerys for torching the town. I was like, God damn, that was kind of fucked up, bitch. Like, why do you have to do that?
Yeah. And so when I ended the episode, I was like, man. I kind of was the word. I can't even think of the word. It was like, it was weird because I was sad that it was over. Like, and there'll never be another show like that. And I'll argue this until I'm purple in the face. Like the amount of like trendiness and how everyone built up. Most of us like, so okay. Here's another example. You had to sit through John possibly dying to a whole nother season, right? And then remember you and Rachel's brother argued. You're like, no, he's not going to be dead. And he's like, guarantee you he's dead. You guys had that. So when I finished, where I caught up was that season, and I only had to wait like 2 or 3 weeks to figure out what happened. But at that point, it had already been leaked because he was filming, and there's a picture of him like in this whatever. So I wasn't like as on edge. But these people who put all of this like time and investment in binging it multiple times. Like Ken's watched it like 7 times.
Yeah.
So I can understand when he watches that and Brandon Stark's like the guy at the end, he has the right to be upset.
Literally everything in this show happened because of Brandon Stark.
In that, yeah. Oh yeah.
Like from the beginning to when he gets pushed off, which started literally everything. It started him by Jaime Lannister pushing him off that thing, started literally because then they tried to assassinate him after he was already busted.
Yeah.
Like it literally, I mean, but that's the thing. That's like and I wouldn't even say it's like random. Like he fucking knew that he was going to be king the whole time.
Dude, love is the death of duty, man. Jon Snow.
Yeah. But it's like, I can't stand people that just like, how would you like, okay, you're going to sit and bitch about the writers. How would you want it to end?
You can't.
Like, I don't know. I just wanted it to be better. Like, that's what I fucking hate about it. Like, I was like nervous to start watching it just because I'm like, fuck, this is the last episode.
See, and that's like, see, I already lost my train of thought. That's where I was going. It took me some time. Like, I was more like just sad that we will never have a show like this again. And then it upset me a little bit that I was like, man, it really was Brandon Stark. And then I was like, and I called it, like, and that kind of sucked. And then I was like, started overthinking all this shit with like Grey Worm, and I'm like, so this guy's been a badass who gives no fucks the whole time, but in the end, he's just gonna be like, okay, I'll turn the prisoner over for you, so as long as he doesn't do anything cool the rest of his life. Like, no, man, you should. Again, I don't know if this would have been the right thing, but he should have tried to fucking kill him, or at least show us torturing him or something.
I thought he was still gonna kill
on the boat,
Little Man.
Yeah,
no, Little Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
like while he was like arguing.
And then there's like the people, there's people complaining again. And I saw this one like, oh, so we watched all of these episodes just to have Tyrion and Bronn and Sam Tully and Devos and Brienne of Tar sit at the table. Like, what joke.
The fuck do you think they were following those character lines the whole time?
Exactly. That's the fucking main characters. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
It's like it all came together. Like some of the times when he was following the fat dude, I'm like, why is it following this fucking fat dude? And then
that reason. reason.
But
Literally.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The people
Like, do you want?
I was satisfied because you want to know why? Because
Fucking-
I didn't have expectations of it living happily ever after. It did, but the whole show, the main show is about the Starks. Like,
if you go back and look,
Stark fuck fest.
Yeah, everything has followed that. Like the whole thing, like you said, started with Brandon Stark, and now it ended with Brandon Stark. And if I can understand being upset but like you said, how would you have done it better? Daenerys on the throne? No. Jon on the throne? He didn't fucking want it.
A cakewalk of both of them being on the throne that people have been like, they made it seem like forever. Like, that'd be so fucking boring.
The only one I never hear about people saying would have been like Cersei wins. Like, did you want that though? No. Jamie comes in and kills Daenerys, and Cersei stays on the throne and that's how it ends. People would have been fucking furious.
Yeah. So then another argument I saw that for people being mad were like, but what? So there's a character from the book that a lot of people always suspected to be Jon Snow, like this fucking weird name,
the AA one.
But it never fucking talked about this dude in any of the shows. Yeah. People are like, but what about this guy? Well, don't fucking relate the books to the show. The show is, obviously from the books, but it's its own standalone episode, so it's its own standalone thing. Like, you can't, the dude's been working on these books for fucking like 50 years. Like, do you think that they're going to be able to put they put as much as they could into a 10-year show,
Well, and that's the thing. When people were saying that Brandon Stark would never be on the throne, it was like, because why? He hasn't finished this book. You don't know. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? Like, exactly like what you said. It's the theories and the Reddit threads. Oh, that's the thing I was going to talk about. Hold on one sec. But no, I agree with you 100 bazillion% that it's. Oh, so I have two things for you I didn't bring up. So this is Brandon Stark on E! News, and his quote is, "I genuinely thought it was a joke script. Like, yeah, good one, guys. Oh shit, it's actually real."
Really?
And then, okay, so here's this. This is from Something Analytics. Game of Thrones real-time web analytics live dashboard. This is pretty fucking crazy. It's a bunch of really cool infographics from people listening. I'm showing them. So Game of Thrones, it shows like how many people watch it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday on HBO Go, yada, 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 Amazon Prime videos. Here's the one I want to bring up. Game of Thrones visitors to the Game of Thrones subreddit. On Sunday, there's an average, oh my gosh. So that's not even the average. Yeah, so there's 10 million people that go to it. On Monday, there's 14 million. But page views on Reddit, 1.6 billion page views for Game of Thrones.
Fucking load that shit up with ads, dog.
And then it says Google's Game of Thrones searches have accumulated over 15 billion. That obviously includes like Game of Thrones season 8, episode 3, episode 4.
Yeah.
But this one was the one I thought that was cool. So Netflix's like page views during Sunday primetime go from 647,000 people like real time, and then when Game of Thrones starts, it drops all the way down to 335,000 for the 2 hours. Then it spikes right back up. Isn't that crazy?
Jeez.
It's a lot of Reddit people.
Yeah, that's insane, but I'm not surprised at all. But I'm going to use some choice language.
Nice.
I don't mean it in 2019 terms, but Rachel's cousin is the biggest faggot on this planet. I don't mean faggot as in gay. You don't know him, and I don't know him. She just has him on Facebook.
Nice.
He posted at 4:00. He's a type of dude that just for every big show he posts spoilers.
Oh, nice.
But she wasn't concerned because it was 4:00, And he posted that it just said like, Jon stabs Daenerys and the dragon takes her. And he posted that and she saw it, but it was at 4:00 and she's like, oh, there's no way that's real. And that's actually what ended up happening. But he does it for all the fucking shows.
What a
I'm like,
loser.
why do you follow him?
Yeah, I would delete him.
I would send him a message and be like, what kind of fucking douchebag does that?
You know who does that is people with no lives and no friends and suck. That's who does that.
Yeah, it's like what are you going for? Like he just
I feel bad like watching it early, I guess would be and then like just tweeting like I tweeted LOL, can't wait to watch the internet explode. And I'm like, I hope I didn't ruin that for anyone.
Started at 6?
Oh yeah, I started every episode. I don't trust myself enough. I started every episode this season at 6. Besides one was at like 7.
Sorry, I got to see who's at my door.
But now it's what do I watch now? It's just crazy. The other thing too, about like how it all went down, and just to put one more, we're in agreement. The only we did, like you said, fully satisfied. I was I would say 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10 satisfied, only because couple of those things, but we are in agreement on that some of the people on the internet, we've talked about this forever, come on man, like it's a TV show about magic and dragons that follows a book. You're not going to change anything when you don't have a reliable outcome. If you don't, like, we went through them all. Daenerys on the throne, you would have been pissed. Jon on the throne, you would have been pissed. Them ruling together. Like Arya Stark on the throne, like that wasn't going to happen. It's not in her character to do it. She already said no to being a lady. Like, what the fuck did you want to have happen?
Jon claimed multiple times he ain't sitting on that shit.
Yeah,
like he's not like to be on like the actual, like Bronn is a little different. Like he was kind of weird. He was saying he's not a person basically anymore.
Yeah, he said no to being the Prince of Winterfell, whatever, but then was like, you want to be the king? Hell yeah.
But like the thing is, like,
that meme's hella
he had to say no to the Prince of Winterfell because he knew what his destiny was, like he did get a little more Pippi, while he was actually going to get the throne. So
Pippi, I like that. I like Pippi. No, I agree. Okay, let's take out the last.
Just going into it with expectations. Most people just expected Jon or Daenerys to take the throne,
Which is, I would have honestly thought I liked what they did instead, because I also expected I expected it to be the unexpected until I expected it to be Brandon Stark, and then I was like, "Fuck, it's gonna be Brandon Stark."
Yeah.
Which makes me
it's just like when you go to like a professional sports game and they have the goddamn like boat race thing.
Oh yeah.
And like Jon and Daenerys are so far ahead, but once you get to that point where they're so far ahead, that's when you take the furthest back,
Oh yeah, it's and I always relate everything to wrestling, and I always will, because that's how I learned storytelling as a kid. I watched way too much wrestling. It's exactly what happens in old good writing wrestling. You have the good versus evil, the bad guys, the good guys. At some point, your good guy will turn heel and become the bad guy, and then you start rooting against him. But in the back of your mind, you're like, well, fuck, for 4.5 years, I rooted for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, yeah, Daenerys just killed all these people, like you said, but it was kind of fucking awesome. Like,
yeah, so a lot of people were like, what? Daenerys was such a good character. Like, why would that just came out of nowhere? Fuck no, it didn't.
No,
there were so many times where she wanted to do, like, she did do some fucked up shit, like, not super fucked up. There's so many times where she wanted to do some more fucked up shit, but, like, the good guys had to, like, hold her back. Like, think about the 2 armies that she had behind her. Like, the most savage, like, brutal armies in the world. Like, the Unsullied are brutal. The Dothraki are, like, the most brutal, like, known for, like, raping and pillaging and all this stuff. And did you think that she was just, like, this happy leader, Fuck no. Like, it was eventually going to happen. Like, now that you look back.
Those armies because they were crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Now you look back and you're like, damn, well, like, imagine, like, today's day and age. It's like, so you go and get a bunch of fucking, a bunch of Nazis, right?
Nice.
And you act like Trump, like, say Trump's a good guy. Trump goes in, he takes all these Nazis, like, we're going to go do good things. Like, would we sit here? Like, we would sit here and be like, wait. They fucked up all the Jews. Like, why are we going to root for them,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
They're not all of a sudden just good just because they say they're good. So that's, like, exactly, like, what, like, you just thought, like,
Dude, great. That was a great.
You got to think like how much fucked up the Dothraki have done. You think they're just all going to just be like they were they were chilled out for a bit, but
dude, great comparison.
But whoever their leader obviously didn't stay chilled out because, once she just felt like everybody was betraying her. Kind of sucked that the bald dude died.
You know what though? Like again, we're not experts, can't recall and pull everything out. But I remember Tyrion talking about this in the scene with Jon in the prisons. He's talking about how he when he basically convinces Jon to do it. He says stuff like, bad people had to die to do this, but when did the bad people stop being bad? Like she killed all the slave owners, but then went to the next place and killed all the good people because they wouldn't follow her. So it's like everything that you said.
If it wasn't for her wanting to like just go and kill more, she probably would have made it.
You know what I think too? Deep thought about the dragon burning the throne. Like the dragon didn't kill Jon and he burnt the throne because he realized like, oh shit, like this is what really killed her. I wanted to be on this shit,
Yeah. So that's what Joel said. He's like, I think that the dragon's going to burn the throne, like, and then nobody's going to be. Well, he kind of had it right. It got burned, but they still have a leader,
So let's go gambling for a second, right? You could bet on Game of Thrones. It was huge, huge action on all season. Odds changed, yada yada yada. I wonder. Now, hear me out here. I know you're not a big gambler, but I wonder if you could go and be like, "Hey, I bet on Jon Snow sitting on the Iron Throne that was burnt, that invalid. No one could sit on it, right? Or vice versa. What if Vegas took a bunch of money on Brandon Stark and they had to pay it out, but they're like, no, you picked that he would sit on the Iron Throne, which is now melted.
No.
I wonder what happens there.
But Vegas didn't take that play, did they?
Yeah, no, there was you could bet on it everywhere.
No, I'm saying like they didn't like.
I don't think.
He didn't actually sit on the throne.
I don't think they would do it, but I bet you. If you had some type of pool or something, people might argue it more. Oh, yeah. Funny. Another funny story. So, dude never met before. Went out with Alita's friends. We went to Trapper Sushi. He was in town. This is a while ago. This was before the season even started. He was in town visiting them as well. Long story short, we're sitting there, we're talking. I've had a couple sakis. I'm feeling fine. I'm talking to this dude I don't know before. We're going back and forth. He brings up Game of Thrones. No, he brings up The Wire. I'm like, oh yeah, my favorite TV show, yada yada yada. He's like, oh, you a Game of Thrones fan? I'm like, oh, well, am I fucking a loser? No, of course I'm a Game of Thrones fan. So we're going back and forth, and he says, I'm in this pool about who will be on the Iron Throne, yada yada yada. We all have our picks in. Who do you think it's going to be? And I've said Brandon Stark to him. But at that time, my theory was that he was going to be the Night King and then the bad was going to win, right? Because I read that somewhere and I was like, oh, it's going to be Brandon Stark. Yeah, and he laughed at me. He literally laughed and he's like, that's the worst. I can't believe that. He's like, I'm in a pool with 60-something people and not one person has said Brandon Stark. And I was like, just watch. Well, that guy's coming back in town next week. And I told Alita, I'm like, we have to go to dinner with him.
You should have got in with that theory.
And all I'm going to say is, fuck you, dude. I'm so smart.
So in a pool like that, so say you put all the money in the pool, it's just if 25 people pick Jon Snow, the 25 people split all that money?
Yeah. Which
I don't do gambling pools.
It's a little different, too, than a Super Bowl pool. So you would have a tiebreaker where you would have the score as well. Mm-hmm. So me and you might both pick the Rams, but instead of everyone splitting the Rams, then we would have I picked 21-14, you picked 6-7.
But there's no tiebreaker for
Game of what would the tiebreaker be? Who killed more people? And it'd be the dragon.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I can't believe it's over.
Well, that's why I didn't want to watch it because I'm I knew something crazy was going to happen, which honestly, it wasn't crazy. It was more realistic that something would happen like that.
Since we started the show, I have this Tifu guy's name in my Twitter, because I was reading that stuff to you. And on the top of Twitter, it has new tweets that have happened since then, with mentioning his name. There's been so now there's 867 within the hour of people tweeting either at Tifu or his name in something. That's really? Fucking crazy.
That's it?
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah. I guess lots of people talking about it wouldn't actually at him.
Yeah. True. I wonder if I typed in Faze Clan, how many people would come up.
Fuck all that noise, man.
Yeah, that was funny though. Yeah, dude. So now we don't have anything to talk about, so let's cancel the podcast. See you guys. No,
This podcast. I went on a test. I went on a razor ride. So, I think I'm gonna snag up property in Cle Elum.
Nice,
dude. It's crazy. So, Cle Elum is a place. So I always talk about going to my dad's. Well, Cle Elum is probably about 30 minutes from my dad's, closer, maybe 45 minutes closer. So I want to take people on rides like we talked about, but to drive up to my dad's to the riding spot is probably like 2.5 hours to get there. If I want to take people on like rides, like that's way too far to drive. So this Cle Elum spot, which I'm not super familiar with, has fucking hundreds of miles worth of single track dirt bike, hundreds of miles worth of Forest Service roads is what I would be taking people on. They have all like the power line by this property I want is groomed. So you can get all the way to Snoqualmie, all the way to fucking Bumfuck, all the riding areas, all times of the year, all things I like to do. There's a golf course, not the nice golf courses in Suncadia, but a like kind of a lower end golf course, like right down the hill from this property. So I'm like 100%. Then it'd be the perfect spot to run rides. That takes an hour from my house.
Dude, that I like the Cle Elum area. That's like where we always.
It's just like a healthy mix. You know, it's all mountainous, and I didn't know all these single track because there's that we talked to a lady in the neighborhood. She's like, "Oh yeah, this is a hiking trail." Well, it's only a hiking trail until June 15th, and that's when you're allowed to go on the dirt bikes on it.
Oh, then you can just rip and rally.
Yeah, but it'd be the perfect spot to run a riding business. That'd be like the rendezvous point. It only takes an hour to get there from my house.
I think that that would be better, and not that because we're like when we go to your dad's place, we can always talk about stuff. But can you imagine, like, all right, like I got to talk to these people I don't really know for
2 hours, like this is close enough where if I wanted to, they could drive there and meet me there.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just.
That'd be sweet. That'd be a sweet spot. My buddy's looking at cabins out in Cle Elum too.
Yeah, this is just a blank property. Like there's nothing on it. It's kind of cool. There's a creek that goes through it. So, the boys play in the creek and, I eventually would put something on it, but right out of the gates, I could park my trailer on it.
Which is all you really need.
Yeah.
That would be sweet. I'll go check it out with you sometime. Did you by any chance, I know you've been busy all day, did you by any chance check any of Magic Johnson on First Take yet? Or read any of that?
I didn't. Well, I read how he blamed it all on the GM.
Oh my gosh, dude. It's one of those things where it's like.
Why even talk about it?
Boom. That's all I was going to say. It's like you're watching it happen and you're like, why are you still talking? Like, just stop. Yeah.
You got to think like
he's dragging everything through the mud, and then like he's making himself look bad. Like when he was like, "Yeah, I signed JaVale McGee, Lance Stevenson, Rashawn Rondo, and Caldwell Pope. I let Brooke Lopez go. I let Julius Randle go, and then I took a 5-week vacation in Europe, and I got called out for bad work ethic." Yeah, well, you don't fucking like
5 weeks.
5 weeks. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, you should have said that. You should have.
Jeez.
Oh man, Magic.
Well, that's the thing is like you have to be super committed to be in those positions, and that was like people were saying that about Magic Johnson and like forever.
Yeah, as LeBron fans, I'm getting a little worried with how the lotto went. Yeah, they can get a really good player at 4, maybe. I mean, really good as far as like Culver would play and Hunter would play, or they could even overdraft Cam Reddish who would play. But I'm nervous that some of these guys are all going to go other places. I don't know who's going to team up with LeBron. I'm pretty fucking nervous, man.
Yeah,
but maybe all these. But guys
this is his last year, though, right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't even know. Maybe all these.
Well, I think he can. I think the last year of his contract, right?
Let me look.
Yeah, I'm a little worried on the guy. I wonder how my new employee's doing downstairs.
Can you go mobile really quick and go put him on the spot on the show? Yeah. Then we can just end it. LeBron is up to 21-22. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I'm sick.
Nice little tour of the office. Oh, dude, you should go down there and be like, "Hey, you guys having sex down here?"
Here we go.
Here we go. Live.
Shh, hold on. Shh. What if I go in there and they're just on the table? Oh, personal documentations for State Farm or farmers.
Put someone's social on blast.
Well, it's hard for me to look.
That wasn't even cool.
This is my sister Amanda.
The Beersy headquarters.
Everything. Yep. This is River. It's weird. It's weird watching because it's reversed. It's reversed when I'm looking through here. Like River, raise your right hand.
Oh, so it's left. Yeah.
Your left hand.
Yeah, you're left.
Fucking confused. It's reversed. So. I know. I meant.
So he double confused us. Right hand. Man, look at all that inventory over there, dude.
Oh yeah, it's just weird looking at this because I want to like turn this way, but there's all our boxes. There's River. I know. I had to delete the Instagram app because I was getting hit with so many messages. There's like zing, zing, zing. How many orders today, Amanda?
400 plus.
400 plus.
Yeah, and that's my Amazon.
Amazon. Something happened. Did somebody order a shit ton on Amazon? Because it went from like 8 orders to 18. So hopefully somebody orders a lot. All right.
Audio listeners, Kyle just popped down there and said hi to his workplace. It looked popping.
How does my audio sound when I'm going through this?
Honestly, about the same. At least from my standpoint, I don't know about what it will sound like when in the recording version.
Oh,
sounds good here though.
But yeah, no second
good times, man.
That's another thing with the podcast. Like hiring this second employee, like gives me a lot more open time because I don't want to do like sitting there lining. Dude, Instagram dudes are the biggest. Not Instagram influencers, but like Instagram pages. It's so crazy how they roll. Like they'll be your best fucking friend, but when you pay them, like they go fucking dark.
Oh,
like,
I bet.
You could like make an agreement, be like, hey, 2 p.m. PST, and then 2 p.m. rolls around, no post. 2:30 rolls around, no post. I'm like, hey, what's going on? We post, and they're like, oh yeah. 3 o'clock rolls around, no fucking post, and you have to like. That's why I won't like. You can't pay them until it's like almost about to post. Like, I'm going to pay you right now. You're going to post fucking right now, you know? And so just dealing with that type of shit, I'm having.
Over and over.
Man, a little winded from walking up those stairs.
LeBron's contract's actually 4 years. He's not a free agent until 2022, and his contract is $153 million. He ain't going anywhere.
That's it?
Yeah, that's fucking.
But couldn't, what's somebody who's, obviously like Anthony Davis, but there could be a contract of a player, like a pretty good player that has a couple years left.
They could absorb.
That they can make that trade for that number 4 pick.
Yeah, so originally I always said that I thought what the Lakers would do is do a package of 2 of their younger guys, whether it be Ball, Kuzma, Ingram, Ball, and that 4th pick to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. But then I realized, holy shit, if Kevin Durant or Kyrie commits to the Knicks, why the fuck would the Knicks not do that at 3 for Anthony Davis? And then why would the Pelicans say no to like Kevin Knox and Frank and the 3rd? And then it could be Anthony Davis, or then it could be Zion, Kevin Knox, another young player, and RJ Barrett in New Orleans. Like, yeah, you're probably not. You're instantly a better team as in terms of like marketing, but you might not win that many more games. But who cares? Like,
yeah.
Anthony Davis doesn't want to be there. You might as well get the best package for him. So,
but they can trade him to whoever they want, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Those are my 2 bets on that. But also the David Griffin guy, who is the new guy for them. I'm typing something at the same time. 2019 free agents.
Tail.
The David Griffin guy though, he's kind of like a wild card, and I could see him coming in and not liking Anthony Davis for how he treated everyone and did everything, and just being like, fuck you, dude, send like Phoenix. Or something.
But the thing is, like, he could say shit like, I ain't going to sign with them, like, after this year's up, fuck them. Like, so that, he could do that to anybody, and they would be like, oh, we're not going to do the trade then,
So here's the top free agents for next year that could team up with LeBron. Let's hope. Durant, probably not. Kawhi Leonard, probably not. You know who? Kyrie, though, who I used to say probably not. I see that more now than
He's definitely not going to. He's not going back to Boston. That's a fact.
no. I say New York or LA for Kyrie. Kemba would be sick. That'd be awesome. Kemba and LeBron. Klay Thompson's fun.
No, he's going back to the war. They're sticking with
They're gonna pay
Klay
him.
and Steph.
Yep, and I said they're
Durant.
Draymond. Yeah, and Draymond. But what would be fun?
They can't have 3 of those guys.
Assuming Durant leaves, they could have 3. If Durant stays and takes a max, and then they give Klay the super max, which is probably what he would want, then no, they would have to get rid of Draymond. If they could keep technically Durant. No, I don't know. Maybe they could keep 3 for 1 more year is all. But yeah, I don't think
Durant's not staying. Like if I were them, I would stick with Klay and Steph for sure.
Yeah, I would keep Klay for sure. I think it would be what I was saying is I think it would be fun if Klay went to like the Nets and actually got his own team to see how good he really could be. Because I think he's very, very good. I think he's a really good defender, and I think he's one of a really, really good scorer who has to give the ball up 3 different other really good scorers. Fuck. Tobias Harris, that's the one that everyone's saying is probably the leader for LeBron and the Lakers is Tobias Harris. I know. Jimmy Butler, Chris Middleton. I don't see him leaving the Bucks. I think the Bucks give him a max. D'Angelo Russell, yeah, he's really going to come back to. You know what? I don't know. What's his name? Magic's gone. Niko Vucevic from the Magic. I believe he's restricted though. Cousins, which would be awesome. Malcolm Brogdon, but I don't think he leaves the Bucks. Al Horford, that's probably who they'll sign because he's old and whatever. Oh, he has a player option for $30 million. He's not leaving. Julius Randle, yeah, he's going to come back. The rest of these guys aren't really that.
Well, they need to do something. I'm no longer a LeBron fan.
Fuck. All right. Well, good times, man.
How long we been going?
An hour and 3 minutes.
Shit, dog.
Are
you not entertained?
Assuming that we started when I sent the link. It might be an hour. It might be 56 minutes. People are going to shit on us for not going a full hour.
Elliot Cuff for pushing man.
I saw that. You know what? That picture doesn't look like him at all. He looks like a 180-pound just dude. That does not look like Zeke Elliott. Thanks, everyone, for listening to the podcast.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Let's see if we can get going Thursday, eh?
Hey.
We're going to go on a ride, man. That spot's so close. We fucking hit it hard. Out on the power line. Not on a dirt bike, though. It was a razor. It was fun, man. Me and Joel. Little quick rip.
Night King should have been on the throne. Bitch.
That would have been sick. That would be cool if she turned into the Night Queen and resurrected everybody she just killed. That would have been sick.
Yeah, it would have been pretty fucking dope. I'm interested to see what the spin-offs, sequels, prequels, whatever are going to be. I don't really know.
It's not the same people directing or writing, all right?
I don't know if it's the writers are out of it. The directors, I think, are pieced out to Star Wars now. The thing, too, though, man, like, people complaining that they condensed it too much. Like, that's how shit is nowadays. Like, everything is.
Why would you build storylines on the last fucking season with a couple episodes left? That makes no sense.
Yeah, just fucking everything is condensed nowadays. Everything can be put into a YouTube video and a fucking Instagram meme. Like, fuck off.
Hey, fucking men, man.
Bye.
Have a good day.